This is the new mental disease being marketed. I picked this up at the Tavistock. You see there, it's the Tavistock and Portman NHS Foundation Trust leaflet. Medically Unexplained Symptoms National Summit. Improving support for somatic symptom disorder. That's what they're calling this new mental disease they're marketing. They're rolling out a big program. Here's their target. The public. Indiscriminate blood money. Drug money. Drug blood money. There is 10% group discounts, whatever group discounts up the top. That's because this event costs £600. So that'll probably be taxpayer funded groups from various state hygienist organisations like the National Health Service. The particular worrying pieces on here that are particularly worrying are, let's see, all the people that are going to be drugged. Says on the speakers, the first person they got is someone convinced that they have this mental disease, probably a distressed person. After the chair's introduction, Paul Jenkins, Chief Executive of the Tavistock, is the lived experience. It's all in your head. Speaker with lived experience. Then they have a child and adolescent psychiatry perspective and from a rehabilitation medicine perspective. This is children they're targeting with a rehabilitation medicine perspective on children. That's disgusting. We must stop this. This is a crazy. Only people that are crazy are this. So this is what they're going to be calling people with this mental disease. They'll be on their medical record for life. So they can't be taken off if someone has an opinion that you shouldn't receive referrals for medical tests, or that any of your blood tests or any referral you might have had has not shown up a problem that you say you are experiencing, or you already have a mental disorder on your record, whatever, then this will be likely given to you, especially like in my case, and many others. If you have been given a disease, if the medications have really damaged you, caused you grievous bodily harm in any way, then the thing that happens is they blame the patient. So like me, you'll just be targeted with this disease, so they'll just make up you have a new mental disease instead of saying, oh, so you dare to mention that the medications they've given you have hurt you, and you don't know what's wrong with you, and they don't know what medications do, so they don't know how they've hurt you either. But they blame the patient, whether they're a child or an adult. As you can see, a child and adolescent psychiatry perspective, and from a rehabilitation medicine perspective, that's why medically inexplicable occur. So another reason they're not going to do this, which was mentioned in 1940 by a secret council at the Tavistock, which you can find on the PDF below here. That's in the public domain now. It costs like a shilling or something, it said. They said the best way they can think to market mental health for the future will be to call it mental health instead of mental hygiene. So this is psychiatrists meeting at the Tavistock, how they can create more work for themselves, how they can expand their industry. They're going to change the word from mental health to mental hygiene. They talk about creating work for mental health firmly for the future. And they mention that the best way that they can convince people to give them this work is to explain that it's the most cost-effective and convenient, most cost-effective and efficient, is by convincing them it's the most cost-effective and efficient thing. So give them the work. And this involves just drugs. This just involves drugs And the old eugenics program, where they've done things like sterilizing people, is more successful than it has ever been. And the relentless, defenseless drugging of children has gone up crazily. It just goes up and up and up. And their children especially, are very defenseless. So it's particularly cruel, and no one goes to jail. And the first speaker talks about changing the way we talk about medically unexplained symptoms. So they're trying to change the way you think about mental disease. They want to tell you 1 in 10 people has a mental disease. They're marketing mental disease to you. 1 in 4 people has a mental disease. 1 in 4 children has a mental disease. Blah blah blah. But they just give drugs. There's no other things that they do, and they don't know how the drugs work. But they turn up to work, they get paid, people get ill, and very ill, get damaged, and then they get blamed with with a new mental disorder. Look, this is who they're targeting, you, behind closed doors, because this costs £600 to attend, so I doubt many people of the public, members of the public, are going. As I said in 1940, and the PDF below, that they said we want to keep secret and market subvertly through the then we're going to market it subvertly through the media and stuff. They said they're going to convince people to create work for them for their new mental diseases by the argument of it's cost efficient, and it costs not much and it's efficient. But that's not true. Medications are very expensive. These drugs are extremely expensive. Anyway, in primary care, some of the case for change, symptoms and poor adjustment to some of let's read that again. In primary care, some of the case for change, that means accepting their new made-up mental disorders. There are no tests for this mental disorder. They stop people going for tests. This is at the detriment to medical advancement and tests, real medical tests and real medical advancement. That is to the detriment of that. In primary care, some of the case for change. Some of the case for change. 10 areas where integration is needed